I invite you to join me for a 20-minute gentle yoga sequence. Find yourself in a comfortable seat on your mat, moving side to side to get comfortable, softening through the shoulders. Couple big deep breaths here. Allow your shoulders to relax. Hands rest on the lap or in the knees. Soften through your eyebrows and your jaw. Nice and tall through your spine. Take a moment to center and ground. We'll open up today with a 3-part breath, bringing one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Breathe into your belly first, then into your ribs, up into your chest. And as you exhale it out, chest empties first, then ribs. Belly empty completely. Belly button pulls to the spine. Big breath in, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale it out, chest, ribs, and belly. Take a few of these breaths at your own pace, feeling the connection of how the breath fills the body. Continuing this breath, stay soft through your hips and your shoulders. Hands come back to the lap. Inhale together, arms up, gaze follows. Palms come together, exhale them down through heart center. Inhale again, arms come up and around. Exhale it out, hands through heart. And one more time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, draw them down. Inhale together, arms come up, and as you exhale, turn to the right side. Left hand falls to right knee. Right hand falls behind your back. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Twist towards the right side of your mat as the gaze falls over your right shoulder. With each exhale, you twist a little bit deeper. Breathing in and out of the nose. Big breath in, arms come up, exhale, open to the other side. Right hand comes to left knee, tall through the spine. Gaze over your back shoulder. Two more breaths. Big breath in, arms come back up through center overhead, and as you exhale, 90-degree bend in the elbows, heart pushes forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, 90-degree bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms bend. One more time. Hands meet together, exhale through the heart space. Begin to transition to hands and knees, getting there in whichever way is most comfortable for you. Knees are hip distance apart, stacked right under your hips. Toes are untucked, wrists stack under shoulders, belly button draws to the spine. Fingers spread wide, gaze between the hands. Big breath in, belly drops, gaze lifts. Take a breath, feel the expansion of chin to chest. And as you exhale out, shoulders push to the sky. Allow the head to fall, shake the head yes and no. And begin to find this movement between these two options. Inhale, belly drop, gaze lifts. Exhale, back rounds, ears fall between the arms. Moving between these options with your breath. Inhale to lift, Exhale to round. Start to take a little bit of movement of your hips side to side, dropping through your shoulders, finding some intuitive, organic movement that you need in your body today. Maybe taking some circles of the hips, both directions. Widening the knees, mat width distance apart, hips draw to heels, forehead to the mat, arms extend overhead. Take a couple open mouth exhales here. Allowing some time to rest and ground. Perhaps allowing your forehead to roll a little bit side to side. Breathing into your low back space as your hips sink closer to your heels. Slowly begin to rise back up into a tabletop, hips over knees. Inhale, draw the right leg back, and as you exhale, send that right foot forward to the top of your mat. Arms come to frame the foot, back toe is untucked. Spine is nice and long, gaze lifts forward. Big deep breaths in and out of the nose. Big breath in and exhale, straighten through your front leg, sending your hips back, lifting and lowering your toes. Keeping a slight micro bend in your knee. Allowing your nose and your forehead to draw closer to the mat. Right hip sinks back as left hip falls forward, straightening through that front leg. Big breath in, gaze lifts, bend into your front knee, come to the top of the mat. And start to find a little bit of movement between these two options. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, sink it back. Nice and slow at your own pace. Meeting with hands and knee coming forward. Plant the hands, step your right foot back. Shake out, taking a couple circles through your ankle both directions, finding movement through your knee, finding tabletop, and switching sides. Inhale, left leg comes back, step it forward to the top of your mat. Nice and tall through the spine, gaze is forward, shoulders soft, hands frame the foot. Sink into that right hip, right toes untucked. Big breath in. And as you exhale, send the hips back, straighten through your left leg, lifting and lowering toes. Finding a little bit of movement until you're ready to find stillness. Let the back round, the head hang heavy. Slightly drawing your left hip back as your right hip shifts forward. Feeling the expansion from hip to heel. Taking a few more breaths. Big breath in, straighten the spine, bend into the knee, come forward, and exhale, send it back. Find movement between these two options. Bend to come forward. Exhale, send it back. On the inhale, hands frame the foot, send the left leg back. Take a couple circles through your ankle, bend through your knee. Come back to a tabletop. Allow yourself to find some movement, drop through your hips, your shoulders, your head. Setting up here for our next option, taking hands to the top of the mat, hips stay stacked over the knees. Let your forehead come down to the mat, heart sinks towards the mat. Option to grab alternate elbows at a bend over your head. Big breath in, open mouth, exhale out. Let your heart sink down towards the mat. If your arms are crossed, go ahead and straighten them. Walk the hands back under the shoulders. Dropping hips side to side. Shake it out, move through your shoulders. Rooting into the left hand, inhale, right fingers open up to the sky. And as you exhale, thread that hand through arm and body. Forehead comes down to the mat. Left arm can stay where it is or extend to the top left corner of your mat. Breathe into any area here that feels tension or tightness. Directing your breath into those spaces. Draw the left hand back under the left shoulder. Push into the palm. Inhale, untwist right fingers, come back up to the sky. And exhale, lower back to the mat. Switching sides, rooting into the right hand, left fingers draw to the sky. Exhale, thread it through arm and body, forehead comes to the mat. Right arm can extend to the top right corner of your mat. Big deep breaths in and out of the nose, moving into any area that becomes present in your body. Take another breath. Right hand draws back under right shoulder. Push into the palm, lift to rise, left fingers come back up to the sky. Exhale it down, tabletop. Begin to tuck your toes, lifting your hips, moving into a downward facing dog. Take a couple big deep bends in through your knees, fingers spread wide, pushing down through your heels, lifting up onto your tiptoes, letting the head shake out yes and no. Heart sinks towards the thighs, tailbone lifts up towards the sky. Taking another breath here. Gaze lifts to the top of your mat as you slowly begin to walk forward, finding a forward fold, feet parallel, hip distance apart. Let the arms hang, maybe grabbing alternate elbows and finding a little sway side to side with your body. Full back body stretch here. Nice and slow, begin to stack your spine all the way up to standing. Softening through your shoulders. Inhale together, arms come up and around. Exhale them down through the heart. And again, inhale, arms rise. Exhale through the heart space. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. Beginning with your hands out in front of you. Begin to lift up onto your tiptoes. And nice and slow with control, begin to bend into your knees, hips fall to the heels. Slowly make your way down, kneeling on your mat. Hands fall to the floor, round through your back. Give yourself a little hug. Begin to make your way to your back. Knees at a bend, hands rest next to your sides. Allow your knees to tick-tock side to side. And then finding stillness. From here, push into your feet, lifting your hips. Lift the heart space, draw shoulders together. Keep the gaze at the sky. Hands can be palms down on your mat, or you can intertwine your fingers underneath your spine. Keep your core engaged. Lift through your hips, knees are hip distance apart. Place palms on the mat and slowly begin to lower hips back to the mat. Tick-tock knees side to side. Hugging knees into the chest. Letting arms fall to a T, and then both of the knees fall to the right side. Gaze can stay up at the mat or fall over your left shoulder. Left shoulder stays grounded to the floor. Taking a few deep breaths here. Enjoying this nice spinal twist. Big breath in, gaze to the sky, knees come back through the heart space. And exhale, let them fall to the left side. Gaze is up or falls over right shoulder. Taking a few breaths here. Big breath in, gaze to the sky, knees come back to the heart space, hugging them into the chest. Moving a little bit side to side. Feet come to the mat, knees fall out. Take a couple more tick-tocks here, letting the knees come together and fall open. Finding stillness with soles of feet together, knees falling out. Lift your heart space up, draw shoulders together, arms rest next to your sides. Making your way to legs fully extended, coming into our final rest to seal our practice and let all the benefits of our movement, our stillness, and our breath become a part of our body, the rest of our day, the rest of our week. Breathing in and out of the nose, finding some stillness and silence. Start to find a little bit of movement in your fingers, your toes. Take a couple circles through your wrists. Big inhale, full body stretch, arms up overhead. And as you exhale, begin to roll to one side using your arm as a pillow, bending into your knees. Slowly begin to rise up, pushing into palms, finding your way back to a seat, meeting with hands at the heart space, closing the eyes. Take a nice, big, deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale out of the mouth. Taking a moment to seal in your practice today, giving gratitude that you arrived here. Namaste.